Aqara has just come out with the new G3 camera hub. This is a 2K pan and tilt camera, has face and gesture recognition, and also has an infrared remote built into it. This thing has got a lot going for it, but we're going to be testing all of that stuff out in today's video, and I want to see how well that camera performs. So stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to another video. So Aqara reached out to me and asked if they could send out their G3 camera for me to check out. Now, I've never used anything from Aqara before, but I would like to thank them for sending out this camera. They also sent out a few accessories too. So we've got a motion sensor, we've got their button, we've also got the door and window sensor, and then a vibration sensor. So a few things for us to test out for their automations here. Now, from what I know of the Aqara brand is I know that they are an Apple HomeKit brand, and they work with a lot of Apple HomeKit stuff, but I was surprised to see on the box here that they actually work with Amazon Alexa, Google Assistant. We also have IFTTT, and this is a Zigbee hub built into this camera. If we take a look here on the side of the box, we see that it is a 360 viewing angle, pan and tilt. We've got USB-C Type-C port for data and streaming, IR night vision, 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi network support. We've got the 2K camera, AI face and gesture recognition. That's pretty interesting. We've also got an infrared controller, which I think is really cool to have in these devices right here. And then we've also got the Zigbee 3.0 hub for up to 128 devices. Now, when I did speak to Aqara, they said that even though this is a Zigbee hub, it is only going to work with Aqara devices. So you can't just pick up any Zigbee and connect it to the system right here, which is kind of unfortunate. Aqara also has a nicely stocked Amazon store. If you guys want to check that out, look at all of these products that we're seeing right here. If you guys want to check it out, I will put a link in the description for that too, so you guys can just jump straight to the store and do some shopping of their products. But let's go ahead and take a look at what comes in the box with this thing right here. And before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos like this one. And with that said, let's see what's in the box. Okay, pretty simple for the things coming in the box. We've got a user's manual. Here is the camera itself. So it does have these little silicone cat ears on it. That is something that you can pull off if you don't want that on there. So you can pop this off if you want to. This is the 2K camera itself. We'll get up close and look at that. So that's the 2K camera. It looks like there is the sensor right there. You can roll this up, and that is going to give it sleeping eyes, which is essentially putting it in privacy mode. And then we've got a slot down here for the micro SD card. In addition to that, we've got a button right here that you can push. This is going to be for syncing, or if you push and hold this, you can actually send video messages to your phone to get notifications, which I thought was pretty cool. We got a speaker on the back here, USB-C. Let's go ahead and cover up my code right here. We've also got a 1/4-20 mount here on the bottom. So that is what the camera looks like. Next up, we have got the power brick, and then we've got about a 6-foot power cable. All right, now that we've seen what comes in the box, let's go ahead and check out the app. All right, I've got the app loaded up right here, and I wanted to show you guys some of the features that you can do within the app. So we see that we can see all of the accessories that I have right now. So we've got the button, we've got the contact sensor, vibration sensor. I want to show you guys how quick these work. So right in front of me, right here, I've got the contact sensor. So if I open that up right here, and actually I'm going to set my phone down, we'll open it up and see how fast that opens. So open, closed, open, close. So very quick on notifying you right there. And then I also wanted to do a button push. So we've got a single push, which is just registered right now on the app. And then we've got the double push, and then push and hold. So essentially you're getting 3 buttons in one with this button sensor right here, which is pretty cool. And the response time seems to be very quick with this thing too, which is what I really like. And then at the bottom here, we got the motion sensor, and the motion sensor also comes with a light sensor. So the cool thing about that is that as it gets darker or brighter in a room, you can have different automations set up with that light sensor and the combined motion sensor. But what I wanted to do is take a look at the camera. So if we take a look at the camera right here, I'm going to click on the camera, and here is what the image looks like. So this is downstairs right now. This is a live view. One thing that I wanted to point out is that right underneath the name of the camera, it says auto. I'm gonna go ahead and click on auto, and I don't know what resolution auto is, but it does not seem to be very good. I'm gonna go ahead and back out. If you take a look above the TV, it says Merry Christmas, or you can kind of see that it says Merry Christmas. I'm gonna go ahead and tap on auto and bring it up to the 2K. It definitely crisps it up. I'm gonna go ahead and bring it down to 720p. It still looks pretty good, but when I bring it down here to auto, it kind of blurs everything out. So I'm not sure what setting auto is. Not a big fan of it. I'm gonna go ahead and set mine to 2K, and I recommend you guys doing the same. Another recommendation that I have is that when you do put in a micro SD card, which I will list some in the description below if you guys want to check some out, but if you do put in a micro SD card, go into the settings and format that card. Regardless if it is an old card or not, I would format it. I've had issues in the past, not necessarily with Aqara, but with other brands where I didn't format the card. And then I went back weeks later to go check footage and it never started recording footage because the card was never formatted in that specific camera. So just a recommendation that I would do, go into the settings, format the card once you stick it in there. Okay, taking a look at some other settings here. We have got the little eyeball underneath the picture. That is going to put your camera to sleep or wake it up. We've got other buttons here for full screen, recording, push to talk. That pause button is going to be for pausing and going to live view. Down here, we've got options for the infrared. So right next to the control panel right here, we've got infrared that you can set up different things. What I like about infrared is that I've got ceiling fans around the house that have an infrared remote. So I can set those up to automatically turn on and off with automations, which is really cool. I also have some plugs around the house that we're using right now for Christmas that turn Christmas lights on and off. I can set that up in here too to send off the IR blaster to turn those on and off, which I absolutely love. We've got predefined positions right here. So you can go through leftmost, rightmost, top, all the options right here for adjusting your camera. And then you can see we've got the button in the middle here for going side to side, up and down. Let's go ahead and go to the left. So I'm gonna push and hold that down. It does take a while for it to pop up. Ooh, here is the new TV I just bought. We'll be doing a review on that. Just got that thing a couple days ago. We'll scroll back over here, take a look at that, and go back up. And if we want to get back to center, I'll go to predefined all the way to the bottom, centermost, and that's just gonna center out the camera. So for some things you can do there. If we click on advanced at the very bottom, we can go to advanced, we've got human detection. So that is going to track human movement, dog and cat tracking. So you can select that. We've got cruise. So with cruise, if I tap on that, it's gonna have me set up predefined points. So I can say have a point on the leftmost part of the room, maybe the center, and maybe the farthest right of the room, and it will go ahead and it will cruise through those different points, which is pretty cool. The one problem with this right here is that if I were to say I want human tracking and I want cruise, I don't believe you can set up both of those. Same with like human tracking and I want animal tracking. I can't do that. It's one or the other. You can't pick both of them, which is unfortunate. Now I can do, say, human tracking and face detection. I can have both of those set up. With face detection, once it detects your face, it'll go ahead and run certain automations if you have that set up. But if I go ahead and select gesture control, it disables everything. You can only have gesture control, which I thought was pretty odd that you couldn't have more than one thing, because like I would want to have human tracking on, so it's pan and tilting looking around the room, but then I also want features like face detection or gesture control when I am home and I want to use those features, but I still want human tracking. So I don't know why I can't select more than one. Maybe that's something they can fix down the road. At the very bottom, next to advanced, we've also got playback, and this is gonna go through that local SD card, and you can go through and check any of the footage that you have. Back to advanced, if we click on the more button, that's going to bring you in just to the standard settings here. So we've got lots of different settings for this camera. You can select the location of where the camera is in, how many devices are connected to the camera. You got more settings right there. If you go into more settings, and then we can go into like camera settings right here. So you can adjust that. Down here is where the SD card storage is. So clicking on the SD card storage and then hit that format button on the initial setup for this. It also will loop the recording. So once that card is full, it'll just delete the oldest stuff and just continually record, which is nice. And that is something that you can turn off if you want to. A few more things that I wanted to point out. We're gonna back out of the camera settings right here. Down at the very bottom, we've got different things for the accessories. So here are all the accessories that I have. We've got automations. If you want to set up different automations using these accessories, you can set up scenes also. Also, one thing I wanted to point out with automations right here, if I click on add automation, it's gonna be an if this, then that. So let's say I click on add for if this, I'm gonna go ahead and click on my camera. At the very bottom, I'm gonna say gesture detection. Here are my options for gesture detection. I can use any of these hand gestures and it can trigger an automation or something to happen. So that's how you would go in and set those up if you wanted to for different automations. If we back out of there, you can see we've got a bunch of different automations that we can do: human detection, cat detection, known face, unknown face. So maybe if it goes through and it recognizes an unknown face, you get an alert or it sets an alarm off or something like that. But now that we've gone over some of the features in the app, let's go ahead and take a look at the quality of what this can produce at a 2K image. And let's go ahead and take a look at the human detection, because I've had problems in the past with other pan and tilt cameras where they just do not work very well as far as tracking people. So let's go ahead and test that out right now and see how well this camera does. All right, we are testing out the camera to see what it looks and sounds like. I am about maybe 8 feet away from the camera right now, and I want to see how well it tracks me around over here. So far so good going over there. What about if I walk over this way? Wow, okay, so that is pretty good. I would say I'm pretty impressed with that tracking. Definitely better than any of the tracking that I've done with any other cameras. But now that we have seen what it looks like during the daytime, I'm going to go ahead and we'll test out some night shots with this camera. All right, now we are testing out the camera at nighttime. Unfortunately, there are going to be some lights going on from some of these smart switches behind me, but this is what the camera looks like at nighttime. Now, I looked at the footage earlier of the tracking shots. I was very impressed with it, but let's go ahead and check the tracking at nighttime. I hope the dishwasher's not open. Oh, boy. Okay, good thing I didn't kill myself on that thing. But we'll go all the way around over here and see if it tracks me all the way over here. And let's go back. We're going to go down the hallway over here. I'm just walking at a normal speed. We're shooting infrared lights here. Well, let's see what looks like extra light there. But anyway, that is what this camera looks like at nighttime. We'll take a look at the footage and see how well it tracked me in the dark. Oh no, it lost me at night. So the motion tracking did kind of lose track of me once I got really far away. We saw some ghosting in that night image too, which obviously is not the best, but it is what it is. Now, I thought the day shots were really good. It seemed to keep tracking me pretty well at night. I will say, I've tested several pan and tilt cameras, not only on my channel, but on the reviews.org channel, which I also make videos for. And I have to say that by far this is the best one for tracking. I had nothing but problems with all of the other tracking or the pan and tilt ones that I've tested out with other cameras. They just didn't seem to track on or follow you very well, but I thought this one did a very good job. Now, a couple other features that I wanted to talk about with this camera is that everything is processed locally on the hub. So I went and I actually turned my internet off to see if some of the automations, some of the scenes that I set up would still work, and they do still work. So that is one thing that I like about this camera and this setup right here, is that things are processed locally on the device and not sent into the cloud like a lot of these other services. Another cool feature that I did not mention earlier, and this is actually something that I've only ever seen on my high-end security system. So I've got a Vivint security system installed on my house right now that I have an internal camera, and it's got a feature which the Aqara G3 camera has also, and that is if somebody goes up and long holds on the button on the front of the camera, it will actually place a phone call to your phone. So if I go up, or maybe my kids go up, say I need to run out really quick, but the kids need to get a hold of me. My kids don't have phones. They can go up and they can push and hold on the button on the bottom of that camera, and I will get a pop-up on my phone saying that the Aqara system is trying to call me. If I tap on that notification, it will bring up a video chat with whoever is on the other side. Now, granted, they're not going to be able to see me, but I can see them and see what is going on, and we can have essentially a phone call between those two devices. A couple other things to mention, because I know somebody is going to ask in the comments, this camera does support up to 128 gig micro SD card that you can put into the camera. Like I said, I will link stuff below if you guys want to check those out. And this camera and the Aqara devices do work with the Amazon Alexa and the Google Assistant environments. In fact, I went ahead and I linked everything into my Amazon Alexa account, and all of my accessories are in there. I can bring up the Aqara camera and view it through my Echo Shows. A lot of extra features I can bring into the Alexa app if I don't want to use the Aqara setup. So a quick recap: 2K pan and tilt camera. We've got an infrared remote control inside, a Zigbee 3.1 hub, and face and gesture recognition. Lots of cool things to this camera. What do you guys think of this whole setup? Is this something that you're looking to pick up, or are there other things out there that you like? Let me know in the comments below. If this video is helpful, give it a thumbs up. Let me know that you liked it. As always, don't forget to subscribe for more content like this, and I will see you guys in the next video.